Chipping. Is it the problem technique for every modeler? Well, it definitely was for me. At first, I hacked away at it with a brush, and after a lot of trial and error and questionable looking tanks, I did get better, but even then, I still struggled. Like a soldier armed with a butter knife in the middle of a revolution. Then one day, salvation arrived in a recommendation. While I was watching that video from Tabletop Minions, enter the leather dye Dauber. He used it for chipping, and I was blown away. The effect was so good, I didn't just order a couple. I went full revolutionary and bought 100 of them off of Amazon. Because if we're starting a movement, you need ammunition, and apparently mine comes in packs of 100. So, what exactly are these things? Well, the name kind of gives it away. It's a tool for dyeing leather, basically a little wool puff on a stick. Now, my first thought, and probably yours too, was, wait a minute, aren't these things massive for chipping a 135 scale model? It looked less like a modeling tool and more like something I should be using to tar a roof. My pack cost me $11.99 at the time of this video, and you do the math. That's pretty good price for per dauber, and per click too. Basically, we're talking pennies for each revolutionary soldier in the chipping army. So, naturally, I put them to the test on my last two builds, the Panzer 38T and the Carro Armato. And let me tell you, the results had me questioning why I ever messed around with sponges in the first place. Now, don't get me wrong, the dauber isn't here to overthrow the brush or banish the sponge. Those still have their place in the arsenal, but what it will do is become that go-to tool you'll always reach for to kick off some realistic chipping. And then you can march in with your brush to sharpen the details and finish the battle. Think of the dauber as the opening volley. I like that. The brush comes in later to clean up the streets. So, here we are. Time to see what this mighty little dauber can actually do. Now, a lot of people might look at a finished model and think, wow, that modeler must be insanely talented. And for the most part they are. But the truth is, sometimes it's not the modeler at all, it's the tool. And this one, it delivers. Just look at how realistic the chipping can get with something that costs less than a cup of gas station coffee. Ooh, who wants gas station coffee? Now, yes, this dauber can make repetitive marks if you're not careful, but just give it a little twist and shift as you go, and that problem disappears. Unless, of course, you want that look repetitive. I'm using a paint called Atom by Ammo, specifically the one called Chipping. And let me tell you, it's been a total game changer for my chipping. Just like all their products, honestly, it's like giving your tiny soldiers the best gear in the revolution. Now, if you try this on a flat plastic card like I am, don't expect fireworks. It really doesn't show its full potential there, but as you saw earlier on my models, it's surprisingly effective. One tiny drawback, amongst a few others, you'll go through a lot of these little guys. I bought 100, and honestly, you might feel like you're starting an army, but realistically for most projects, you can get away with just one or two if you're careful. Enough to start your revolution without emptying your arsenal. What's with all this revolution? Well, anyway, I hope it takes off. It should. It will. This dauber. Yes, I should probably start a counter for how many times I said that word. But jokes aside, it's amazing for rust effects. Here's how I tackled the mufflers on my last two builds. I started with the darkest rust and worked my way to the lighter shades, and then went back a few times with other colors to build up a realistic battle-worn look. Honestly, it's like the dauber, Ching, number 17, is leading a tiny rust revolution. Okay, I'm not going to mention revolution anymore. On my tanks. And you can also do this like for a desert effect and just use some blues to show some like heat effects. Now, on to the second drawback. The size of the tool. It's not exactly a stealth operator. Getting into those tight areas can be tricky. For things like mufflers, I usually paint them separately and then glue them on the model. That way, you still got full control, but don't worry, the brush and sponge are still very much part of the revolution. After the Dauber lays down the groundwork, you can swoop in with them to finesse the details. One of my upcoming projects is a tiger tank that I want to fully rust, showing all 80 years of wear and tear and the effects of time. There's a lot more to that project, but that's all I'm going to give away for now, so be sure to subscribe and you'll see it when it finally rolls onto the channel. Consider this invitation to join the Dauber. I'm not saying it all early. This tool is really going to shine on that tiger build and show its full potential. I can't wait to start it, though I'm waiting for some cooler weather before diving in. It's a Takom kit and has a lot of parts. This Dauber really excels on edges, as you can see here, and then you can sneak in some lighter chips just under the armor plates for that extra layer of realism. Honestly, it's like the Dauber is leading a precision strike on every surface. You also need to make sure most of the paint is off the Dauber so it can do its natural magic. Sometimes, like here, a big dollop will sneak up and surprise you. I've had moments where I went back in the same spot and layered more paint than I intended. So just switch angles and positions to keep it looking random. Think of it like a guerrilla warfare. What's with all this revolution and warfare? For point, spread out, stay unpredictable, and let the Dauber lead the charge. Now, the effects look great on some lighter colors, so now let's move on to a different color and see how it behaves on an olive base. I'm sticking with the Atom paints, this time using a German green to create lighter chipping over the darker base. What I want to test here is layering, seeing if we can build on this with some rust colors later. To get this effect, I would normally go in with the sponge or brush and then afterwards go in, with a rust color and try to get that 3D effect. That's something that used to give me trouble, so for the most part, I think I did a pretty good job. If this works as planned, I'll be one happy modeler, watching my tiny battlefield come alive one chip at a time. Now, I wouldn't normally go this heavy with the chipping on a model. This is just me overdoing it to show you the effect clearly. For the most part, chipping should be light and only in areas that actually make sense. So don't go carpet bombing everything or it'll look like a mess. So I've been going in with that rust color, and overall it's starting to give that 3D effect I was hoping for. On the edges though, I think you could push it even further, and that's where this tool really shines. It's perfect for hitting those sharp edges of armor and giving them some extra battle-worn character. So, while you watch me dauber away, I'm guessing you've already made up your mind. Either this is the greatest little tool in the hobby, or I'm completely insane for showing you all of this. Either way, let me know your thoughts down below, and let's ramble a bit in the comments, like true members of the Dauber. I'm not saying it. You should know by now in my videos, I do like to ramble, so let's ramble. Because I am officially all daubered out on what to say about this thing. So, what's that one tool you found that isn't technically a modeling tool, but works wonders anyway? For me, it's a makeup sponge, perfect for cleaning up enamel pin wash messes. Seriously, it's like finding a secret weapon hiding in plain sight. While looking for my rattle cans to paint these plastic cards, I came across some knitting needles. Now, I don't knit, I just had them to resell and they never sold. And I'm kind of going through them and I'm like, can I use these for modeling? Can this be the next super tool? Probably not. But I was like, toothpicks, I do use them, and they do sell metal ones, AK and ammo, and that's something I would never buy. I would probably lose them in 5 seconds. So I'm thinking maybe some of these needles would be useful to hold road wheels. I'm going to give that a try, and if I do, I'll show that in a future video. But anyway, let's ramble on. Back to the Dauber, and as I was rambling, I thought of a few more things about it. First off, you will go through a lot of them, and I've also been diving down the Dauber rabbit hole, checking if they have smaller ones. Haven't found anything yet. Maybe I'll have better luck if I look onto like a specialty website for them. But here is my Carro Armato. This is where the Dauber really showed its magic. You know, I've always wanted to get like a worn tank like that, and I did it with the Dauber. And here we are going in on the edges with some more chipping paint. So, the big question, should you run to Amazon or dash over to your local Hobby Lobby to grab some Daubers? Well, that's up to you. As I said, they're pretty cheap and you can get smaller packs if you just want to try them out. But as for me, an old dad's modeling mess has officially joined the Dauber Revolution. And yes, it should be a revolution because this little tool is seriously awesome. Now, I'll admit it, I'm guilty of seeing a tool on YouTube and a creator using it and immediately buying it. These Daubers are just one example, but honestly, most of the tools I've grabbed this way have really helped with my builds. So why not give this one a try and then let me know what you think. Is it awesome, or am I just a fool for using it? Let's find out together. So, let the Dauber Revolution begin. Alright, I want to thank you all for watching, thank you all for subscribing and supporting the channel. I know 2 videos in 2 days, but I'm a little under the weather this week, so I may not have a video out this week. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.